Hello, good evening. Dr. Trudy Ufondo of Snowspirations Global Health Solutions. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful Tuesday. Today's topic is gonna be very important because we are at that time of the year again, and December is a very tempting period, especially when it comes to what we eat. So this evening we're gonna look at the food or foods that will help you or harm you in regards to starting your family. If you were believing God for a baby and up to now you're not pregnant, or it's possible you're pregnant, you don't even know, because some people might be pregnant today and they wouldn't know they're pregnant. What are those food you should encourage yourself to consume, especially this festive period? Which food items should you avoid? Like basically avoid them like a plague. That's going to be the topic for tonight's discussion. My name is Dr. Trudy Ufondo, and I welcome you to Open Clinic with Dr. Trudy on YouTube. I plan to spend about 30 minutes interacting with you, sharing what I know that will help you to become pregnant. So, and I want you to give me about 15 minutes, after which I'll take your questions. So I'm going to do my presentation for 15 minutes. I'm going to go straight to point because we don't really have much time to, beat about the bush. I'm just going to give you the tips you need. Now, if you are believing God for a baby, that means you want to be a parent in 2023. What you need is to be very mindful of what you do every day. Now, there's this saying that we become what we eat, and that's actually true. There are some food that when you consume them, especially when you consume them without control, you can actually be the person stopping yourself from becoming pregnant. So there are some food items you don't have any business eating at all. Now, there are some food items you should eat moderately. Then there are some food items that it's a must you consume them. And I'm going to go straight to factual points. So there is this current study we reviewed, and it showed us that if you're a woman and you're planning to start your family, you should avoid consumption of red and highly processed meat. Red meat is not your friend. The reason is because red meat has a lot of anti-reproductive qualities. So if you're fond of consuming meat, especially the red type and highly processed meat, which you're gonna come across this Christmas, try and avoid them. Now, when you're doing that, also avoid highly processed artificial carbohydrates. Where can you get this? When you eat out, when you go to events, when you go for takeaway. There are so many things they use in preparing all those food you love eating. The jollof rice, the fried rice, the this, the that, they are all over the place, especially at this particular period when you can easily order your food through the phone. Avoid that. Be the person that will prepare the food you eat. Be conscious of the raw materials you use in preparing your food. Avoid highly processed carbohydrates. They will affect your fertility negatively. Now, this is also the period you will be tempted to eat a lot of beverages, a lot of confectionery. So when you're eating the cake, when you're eating the candy, you also want to consume beverages. Can you do me a favor? Can you avoid consuming beverages at this particular season? The possibility you might actually consume more than your body can handle is very high. So when I talk about beverages, your Milo, your Bonvita, and all that, they belong to the same category. Personally, I will ask you to go for tea. Anything that entices your taste buds and gets you addicted to them, avoid them. You have had enough. You are on a mission. If you are not careful, December has a way of ending abruptly. Before you blink, it's all over. If you are planning to go to a different place, Some people normally move from townships to the villages. If you're planning to do that, I can guarantee you that there are so many food choices you will be exposed to. There are so many functions, there are so many parties, there are so many events you will attend, and you will see all those food and you will quickly rush them. One of the best things we have as Africans, especially if you're from West Africa, we have the best delicacies in the world. They are very good, but they are not necessarily the most healthy food you can consume. Remember the reason why we're having this conversation. You want to start your family. Also, when you're consuming your dairy products are very important in the overall function of your reproductive system. But please be mindful of the calorific content of your dairy products. So when I talk about your dairy product, I'm talking about your milk, your cheese, and all that. Look for low fat milk. Look for low calorie milk. Also consider milk that will contain high quantity of vitamin D and calcium. They will help you, not just helping you. Eventually, when your baby is fully developing, they will also help your baby's bone, teeth, and all the brain materials to develop properly. So over time, whatever you put in your body can help you to become pregnant or to avoid pregnancy. So I've talked about the things you should avoid. So what are the things you should consume? You can't go wrong with your vegetables. You can't go wrong with your fruits. So many of us don't like fruits. So many of us don't like vegetables. And I can tell you this, if you are not eating your fruits and vegetables, I wonder what you're eating as food. Now, I'm sure you've heard about the ultimate fertility diet. Your ultimate fertility diet actually comprises more of fruits and vegetables than plant-based protein. Remember, anytime you want to consume your protein, you are better served consuming the plant-based protein in lieu of animal protein. You saw me talking about meat. Meat is a good source of protein. Fish is a good source of protein. But if you have the choice, opt for plant-based protein. Very important. I can tell you that what you're eating today or what you've already eaten might actually be the reason why you might not be able to become pregnant. What you eat can actually stop you from becoming pregnant, both directly and indirectly. So for women, I want you to concentrate on food that will increase the quantity of folic acid you need. So there are some fortified cereal, there are some fortified bread, there are some fortified rice and all that that also contains high level of folic acid, which you need. Remember the role of folic acid in your developing your baby. Folic acid is very important in the formation of the neural tubes. So when you're consuming food, when you're going out there to buy anything, anywhere you see food items that are fortified with folic acid, embrace them. Now, there are also some food items that contain vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is also very important in helping your fertility. Omega-3 fatty acids. It's also very important in improving your fertility as a woman. There is this type of diet we call the Mediterranean diet. I don't want you to go and start worrying about all those big names. Just concentrate on eating more fruits and vegetables. Anytime you have the opportunity, consume them. You still need your carbohydrates, but in moderate quantity, especially the less processed carbohydrates. So if you have a farm, which I believe you can, or if you're going to the villages, you are better off eating food from your grandfather's farm. You are better off with the yam your grandfather harvested. You are better off with the cassava your grandfather harvested. You are better off with the green, the ugu, and all those vegetables, the fruits. Just make sure you wash them properly. You are better off with the naturally grown food. There are so many food items out there they use additives to preserve, to grow, even antibiotics. They might not help you. You might not realize this until much later. So make conscious effort to consume food that will have higher content of folic acid, vitamin B12, omega-3 fatty acids, and Mediterranean diet. Everything I'm telling you, when you're eating your cereal, when you're eating your rice, when you're eating your legumes, they contain this, your bread. Look out for them. Read the label. Now, also think about antioxidants. So you can derive your antioxidants from your fruits and your vegetables. Antioxidants are very important in protecting your reproductive cells, which is the sperm and the egg. Oxidants are things that go to damage critical cells in the body. Antioxidants are things that damage the oxidants. So when you eat food that contain a lot of antioxidants, they can actually help your body to balance properly. Consider your vitamin D. I've already mentioned that. Your dairy product, your soy milk, and all that. Now, consumption of caffeine, as of today, we have not categorically said, oh, caffeine is very bad. It didn't have a direct effect in the fertility of both the males and the female in the current study, but moderation is always key. So don't go binging on coffee. Don't go binging on all those highly caffeinated drinks. You might be enjoying it now, but it might actually be standing in your way. Now, there is something you don't need this period, which you are tempted to be drinking anyway. You don't need your alcohol completely. I know Christmas period, festive period is all about drinking alcohol. You don't need it, especially the men. The possibility that when you're drinking alcohol, you're going to be eating the food you don't necessarily need, and some of you might be smoking, is very high. If you are not a father and you are not happy and you are still going to go to the villages, which I will encourage you to go, you should not avoid anybody. But please do not drink alcohol. You don't need alcohol. You don't need cigarette. You don't need food that will pile up your cholesterol level and begin to damage the little ones you have. You don't need them. Avoid them. Make conscious effort to avoid them. Now, so many of you are going to be introduced to potato meals, sweet beverages, and all that. They will not likely help you to become pregnant. So if you have to consume anything you really want to consume, moderation is key. When you attend a function, when they are serving drink, I know it might be difficult. Avoid those malts. You don't need them. Avoid the sodas. You do not need them. Embrace your water. Water is your best friend. You see, the reason why you don't know how sweet water can be is because you have not given water a chance. Water is the best thing that has happened to us in life. So please, make conscious effort to adopt all the few suggestions I've given you. Now, when we come to men, we also notice that whatever I've talked about can also affect the fertility of men. So the good ones will also affect the men, especially the zinc content. So the production of the sperm in a man is called spermatogenesis. When you have adequate quantity of iron and zinc, then you might produce, you will definitely produce healthy sperm, which will help you to impregnate your woman. Now, please be careful about this. Some of you might also be getting ready to go for assisted reproductive technique like IVF, like IUI. For you to have a success story in your preparation of your IVF, please also consider what you eat. You have to prepare your body, you have to prepare your mind for this journey. It's a careful journey. You cannot make the mistakes you made previously. You are going into a new dimension. You are getting ready to be a new mother, so a new father. So all things are gone. All things are made new. Make conscious effort. I know it will be difficult for some people. Now, for the women, you are in charge of what you eat in your home. Stock your home with good things. What you have in your food pantry is what you will eat, is what you will serve your partner. So please, when you go out there, pay attention. Do you know the irony of eating? The things that will damage your body are very cheap to buy. The burgers, the chicken, very easy. You can buy any quantity and you can go and waste your life on it. The healthy things are more expensive. For some reasons, I don't understand. When next you go to shop, think about what I told you. The things you are craving for, you can easily have them. The things your body needs, you might not afford them. But I would rather you spend $10 buying the fruits and vegetables that will help you than to spend $5 buying things that will further damage your ability to become a mother or a father. And it's not just all about becoming a mother and a father. Your health, when you're not eating the right things, you will likely develop hypertension. You will likely develop cholesterol problem. You will likely develop diabetes. And even when you succeed in becoming a mother and a father, and you develop any of these chronic medical conditions, you're not going to have good quality of life. So be careful and be mindful, okay? So that's my quick presentation. I'm going to open the clinic now. And I will encourage you to ask your questions. So I can see my amazing COO. Kenneth, thank you so much. I can see another Ivy or SARS, then Mama and Tosi, amazing lady. So guys, the clinic is going to open now. Please start asking your questions. It's going to be pretty straightforward. Immediately after this clinic, I want you to also join me in our Facebook group page. We have 2 pages in Facebook, then we have a group. Once you show up there, immediately after this clinic, I will still repeat this topic because we have more people in Facebook. And anytime I'm giving a presentation in my YouTube, I also replicate in my Facebook. So, but right now, start asking your questions. You have about 10 minutes to do that. What are examples of antioxidants food? Your fruits, your oranges, your apple, your pineapple, they are very good source of antioxidants and vitamin C, including your vegetables. Okay, guys, keep asking your questions, please. Ask me questions. Hit me up. Okay? Ask your questions. Share this video with your friends, with your partner, with your sister, with your brother, with your father, with the kids. Start early to introduce right food for your kids. Over time, they might not like the fruits, they might not like the vegetables, but if you inculcate that habit, if they see you eating your fruits and vegetables, sometimes they will be eating it and crying, but it's what will save them. Childhood obesity is actually on the rise, especially if you have family history of obesity. Be mindful of what your kids are eating. Don't allow them to use snack to replace their food. It will not help them. Please start asking your question. Evening, doc. What are the benefits of eating or adding ginger to the menu? Ginger, the last time I checked, is an addictive. It's a flavor people use in cooking. So you can do your ginger. You can do your what do you call it? Your what's this one that smell a lot? Your nutmeg. You can use your paprika. You can use your pepper. You can use your garlic. They are all food condiments. They are all okay. They're actually low in calories. So I don't really have any problem with ginger. All those spices are very good. Without spices, think about that. You are actually better served using less salt and sugar compared to spices. Some people cannot eat unless they sprinkle raw salt. That's not a good practice. Stop doing that. You don't need that. If you can tame your taste buds, your taste buds will obey you. The problem is we allow our taste buds to rule us. So if you drag you to Sokoto, you will follow you to Sokoto. If you drag you to Castina, you follow you to Castina. No, be in charge. Control your taste buds. When you go to function, discipline yourself. I'm also talking to myself. Very important. Okay. How much should one eat when pregnant? Regular, small, meaningful meals. You can eat up to 7 times in the day, but regular, balanced, meaningful meal, small quantity. So you can start eating in the morning, fruit, vegetable, you spread it all out. The idea is to keep your body in motion, but you are eating the right things. Of course, when you eat, you have to burn the calories, you have to exercise. Don't allow a long period of time of not eating over time. I know some people can use intermittent fasting and all that, especially if they are believing God to drop their body weight. But you need to eat regularly to make sure you replenish and have all the adequate stuff that your body will need to start the journey of making a baby. Making a baby requires a lot of good stuff. So I don't have problems with you eating 7 times. So 7 times means you can maintain your 3 basic meals. Then in between you can snack, the healthy snack. Your fruits can be snack. Your vegetable can be snack. You can just, your smoothie. So anything healthy, you can fit it into that 7 different meal window. Okay? All right. How much? Okay, especially, correct. So Kenneth is coming from a place of eating for 2. That's a misconception. The fact you're pregnant doesn't mean you have to be a glutton. You now stay in one place and you're binging on so many things. That's not true. What you need is adequacy of the right food. Now, in as much as you're the conduit that your baby will need to get all the basic things your baby need, you are not supposed to now say, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm having a baby that I'm eating for two. That's a very wrong myth. It's actually ironical. You should still eat the right kind of things. And of course, if you notice, when you go for your ANC, we allow you to add some healthy weight. The reason why you need to add that healthy weight is to make sure that you can carry your baby properly. There are some women that might have problems with giving birth to their baby because they don't have adequate fat stores to deliver their baby. There is a reason why God gave women those fats around the hips. It's for a special purpose of childbirth. Okay? Is brown rice healthy? I don't have any problem with brown rice. Compared to white rice, brown rice is always more healthy than white rice because it contains lesser calorie compared to white rice. So you can do your brown rice. The only thing is, you can't compare the taste of brown rice with white rice. Brown rice sometimes will taste like water, bland water. Definitely basmati rice and all those ones, you can't go wrong with them. But this is not a time of following your taste buds. Your taste buds will extend your infertility. You can always come back if you want to eat the whole community, you can eat that. But by then, you would have started your family. I just want you to make sure you check all the boxes in starting your family. Okay? You've had 3 surgeries for fibroid and you've had 2 failed IVF. Did you fail because of the fibroid? Now, that's not how failure of IVF goes. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, because anything that happens in life, we have to always see the good in it. Now, you've had 2 myomectomies, 3 myomectomies. That's actually strange. That's strange. I don't know how old you are to have had 3 myomectomies. I don't know where they conducted the myomectomies. You know, we've come across women that actually had 2 myomectomies. So, in course of removing the fibroids you had, they didn't remove the smaller ones. Once you remove fibroid, you remove them. The problem is over time, depending on your lifestyle, depending on your constitutional factors, the smaller ones will start getting big. And they will be significantly big to the extent that we need to remove them again. But 3 myomectomies and 2 failed IVFs. Of course, before you proceed, now your question is actually, making me to ask you more questions. You see, realistically, there is no good IVF provider that will proceed with IVF if you have significantly big fibroid. That's not a good doctor. A good doctor that plans to go for IVF will not proceed with IVF. If you have significantly impactful fibroids, he will not proceed. And don't tell me, oh, he didn't know. Of course, no doctor will be planning to go for IVF and just say, oh, I want to start giving you IVF. We would have done all the tests. We would have run an ultrasound. We would have looked into your womb. We would have seen the position of the fibroids. So sometimes what I've noticed, people live in denial. There are some women that even coerce their doctors to let them proceed when it's not going to be favorable. There are some women that will be, doctor, I know I have fibroid, but my doctor told me if I don't remove it, this will happen. Because you go convincing them, because you feed them a lot of wrong vibes. And some of the providers, there are some doctors that have dubious characters. They will want you to go and be coming back. I'm not that kind of doctor. So there is no good doctor planning for IVF that will see a 6 cm fibroid intramurally placed or submucosally placed, and they will still continue to give you all those hormonal drugs that will even make them to be bigger. That's not a good doctor. So I don't know who did these 3 surgeries. Then I don't know who did the IVF with presence of fibroid. So I'm personally being open. So I don't know your medical history. If I know your medical history, I would have told you further. But what I'm going to tell you is this. Before you proceed for any procedure regarding starting your family, make sure you ask a lot of meaningful questions. You should not just take yourself to anybody that claims to be a fertility specialist or anybody. They can cook up numbers and you go there. Some of them will damage your remaining opportunity. Be careful, make your inquiries. Don't just go to any place. Ask basic questions. This is actually the reason why I authored a guide to IVF. If you are planning to go for IVF, you should get the guide. It's your Bible. There are some questions you need to ask. There are some rights you need to know. There are some benefits. There are some things that they are mandated to tell you. Even when it succeeds, they should explain. When it fails, they should explain. So don't just go to any place and do IVF, and some of them won't give you your report. We have a copy, and you live in Ireland. So Ireland is a developed, nation. So I don't know why you should have 3 myomectomies. Now, it's possible that you knew about this fibroid and it was really, really big. There are some women that have very fumigating, very, very bad fibroid that if we remove all of them, we can damage your womb. So I don't know the type of fibroid you had. I don't know how long you kept this fibroid and you decided to remove it. So sometimes we can complicate the effect of fibroid by time, by thinking we have enough time, by being afraid, oh, I heard this person had this, and before you know it, that fibroid has damaged your womb. Some doctors will rather keep the fibroid there and opt to remove the whole womb, because if we go extensively in removing some fibroids, it will damage your womb. Okay? And you're 41. That's also a factor. You are in advanced maternal age. So personally, if you ask me, since you've gone for your 3 surgeries, I believe that's enough. Because guess what? You are actually not in the category of a woman that should actually have a baby. It might sound mean to you, but we don't encourage more than 3 procedures in our group. So if you've had 3 miscarriages, 3 surgeries, 3 access to your womb. So there are different types of myomectomy. If they had an open myomectomy, laparotomy route of myomectomy, then you've been operated 3 times. And we do not encourage women to go for surgery 3 times in our group. If you've had CS and it's 3 CS you had and you had your baby or anything happened, stop right there. Because the more you're exposing your womb for series of surgeries, the more the womb is weak and possibility of having a womb rupture is very high. So go back to your doctor and make sure you share all the concerns I'm raising with your doctor before proceeding again. Keep everything on the table. Don't remove all the options of becoming a mother on the table. Some people just remove everything and keep only natural means. That's why they've spent 20 years, 15 years, some 25, because you've removed all the other options of becoming a mother. It's not only through natural avenue you can be a mother. You can be a mother through natural avenue. You can be a mother through fertility drugs. You can be a mother through IUI. You can be a mother through IVF. You can be a mother through donor egg. You can be a mother through donor sperm. You can be a mother through surrogacy. And you can adopt. About 8 different ways of becoming a mother and becoming a father. They are the same thing. So keep everything on the table, especially if you're above 35. Okay? I'm sure you heard me correctly. Okay? And I'm not even in a position to advise you. I'm just saying this out of my own magnanimity. We do not encourage anybody to go for 3 surgeries in our group unless it's an emergency. So going by what you told me now, you're actually not a candidate to bet your baby. You should be thinking about going for surrogacy. Okay? That's my personal advice. You can go back and discuss with your doctor. But that's me. I take excessive precautions because I want you to be around to enjoy your baby. I don't want anything to happen to you. You hear stories of women that were giving birth to their baby and they died because the womb has been put in a very bad place. I don't want that to be you. Thankfully, you're in Ireland. I'm sure your doctor must have had these conversations with you, okay? So go back home. Don't push your buttons. Don't push your buttons. You are better off being around, being alive, adopting a baby, going for surrogacy, than to die and you leave this world and it's end of story. You can only live once. So refuse to go when you're looking for a baby in the wrong place. I will personally want you to adopt. I will personally want you to go for surrogacy and you will answer a mother and you're still around. That's my choice. Okay? Okay, guys, I have just 1 more minute to go. If you have a question I haven't answered, put it on the screen immediately. I'll provide you feedbacks before I go. All right. Remember this. If everything else fails this December, God will never fail you. Let God guide you to pray good prayers. Let God guide you to make love every day. Let God guide you to get help. We've noticed a little uptick in people that subscribe in December. Rush hour. January, no action. February, no action. June, you're just distracted, especially in this era of social media. Then suddenly you remember you're going for Christmas, and suddenly you want to have overnight success. Pregnancy do not happen overnight. So take time and do the right things. Today is the 6th. You can still become pregnant in December. You have just one day, one 24-hour window. Use it appropriately. Okay, so I'll see you guys in Facebook. Until I see you, God bless you and enjoy your evening. Bye-bye for now.